Hi, today I wanted to share with you something that I've been working on lately, and that is the cyanotype process. The cyanotype process is a process that I have worked with before, but have not shared much of it. Just to go a little bit back into all of this, every summer I like to try to dedicate some time to creating cyanotypes. Unfortunately, last summer, since I was on a lot of road trips, I didn't get a chance to dedicate any time to it. So near the end of the summer, I made a promise to myself that I would create cyanotypes this summer with no fail. At that point, I decided to kind of go back and read up on the cyanotype process. And going back, I discovered other techniques within the cyanotype process. One in particular that had me interested was the pellets process. The pellet process is one of the techniques that really stood out for me, and that's because it creates a positive from a positive. And knowing that, I just went wild in my head. From there, I said to myself, well, I gotta build a box camera so that I would be able to create a positive from a positive. And that's when my new journey in the cyanotype process begun. To my surprise, I came to discover, after doing a lot of research on in-camera cyanotypes, there were others that were also experimenting with it too. Throughout my research, I came across several books on a lot of the old photographic techniques, but there were two books in particular that had grabbed my attention. Now, I'm going to warn you, if you ever find these books, which you can on Google Books, your mind will go nuts because there are so many things in there that I'm sure you'll probably want to try. Of course, you can't do them all, but if you're like me, you're in big trouble. The first book is called Ferric Heliographic Processes, and the second book is called Photographic Reproduction Processes. So the tricky part for me right now is to find the formula, which I did. But it's much easier said than done. My concern is to find the best formula that has the highest sensitivity in order to use it in a box camera. So far, I have experimented with a few of the formulas, and they have proved not to work. But then again, I have to consider some obvious factors. One being that there's not much sun right now, and two, that it is quite chilly outside. But I still am determined to try it in these conditions anyway. Another fail. Just rinsed right off. Not enough light's getting to this paper. The first box camera that I built was this one here. And this is a magnifying glass, black foam core, gaffer's tape, and Velcro. And this I all bought at the dollar store. Now, when I originally made this box camera, I wasn't careful to ensure my focal length was correct. So in case you might be interested in how to build a box camera, here's a little tip. In case you might be interested in how I was able to figure out how to build a box in regards to the length, also where I would know I would have focus. If you look on the wall here, and I'm going to slowly pull this back, and if you keep your eye on the wall as I slowly move this back, you're going to see
starts to slowly come into focus.
That little snippet just demonstrates how you're able to get the right focal length for the magnifying glass that you decide to use for your box camera. I have done a few tests with this camera, but as you can see, I had miscalculated the focal length distance, and then later on discovered that I had to lengthen the box, but then this proved to be a little bit questionable. Of course, the longer the box is, the more difficult it is going to be for the light to travel to the paper in a desired fashion. But what I did decide to do was build a second one. Now the second one, I chose a different magnifying glass, and this time, before I actually bought it, I made sure that I was able to get a focal distance that was much shorter, or as short as possible, so that it would be easier for the light to travel from the magnifying glass to the back of the camera. So this is the new version, which I'm going to be trying out very soon. And on top of that, I decided to take a old 4x5 ground glass. So what we do here, I just slide it in the back, and don't know if you'll be able to see anything, but I'm going to give it a shot here. I don't know if you can see me, but this will definitely help me with composition and make this process a little bit easier. So that is what I've been working on so far. I have also built an 8x10, which I'm still kind of tweaking a little bit. I hope you enjoyed this, and stay tuned for the continuation of my new journey with the cyanotype process.